Hello, my name is Stef Pilaert and I welcome you to this course, Steel Structures. You should see this book just as a guide, as the title says, to actually the Eurocodes themselves. You should read the Eurocodes themselves. They are telling you how to do things. This book is just a guideline who gives some extras as these video tutorials. But the main goal is that you are able to understand, to read, to use those Eurocodes themselves. So always have a look and read carefully the Eurocodes. So what you see here is an example of such a Eurocode. We are going to study Eurocode 3. Actually, this 3 comes from 1993. Everything that we call Eurocode 3 is actually about the designing of steel constructions. We're not going to deal with the entire Eurocode 3. We're just going to pick some parts, the most important parts, out of this standard, out of this Eurocode. Now, how will you study those Eurocodes? Well, you will start always from this guide, from this book. And constantly, this book will invite you to read the Eurocodes themselves. We will do it this way, I show you. So here's an example on how this works. We have in the book, in the guide, we have this chapter 5.5 about classification. And in the Eurocode, it's another numbering. I'm sorry, but I don't follow the numbering in Eurocode. In Eurocode, you will find more information about classification in section 7.5. So 7.5.2, for instance, I give some explanations. I might do this in text, in writing, as is the case here. I might do this with a short video tutorial, and then you should read this part in the Eurocode itself. So you should look where is paragraph 7.5.2, classification, how does it work? For instance, number 1, you should read this. So I give you some tips, and then you read what is written actually in number 1 in this part of the Eurocode. So this is the number 1 that I'm referring to in my book, and you should try to read what is written in the Eurocode together with what I wrote in my book, and you have to try to understand. The main goal is to apply all this. We are going to make calculations, you are going to make a lot of exercises. The main goal is that you understand how to do all this. So in short, you follow my book chronologically, step by step, but you feel that this doesn't mean that you will go through the Eurocode chronologically. Sometimes you will be in chapter 5 in Eurocode, then jumping to chapter 2, then jumping to chapter 7, and that's why I cannot follow the same numbering as in Eurocode. The Eurocode is not aimed as a study book. It's not aimed as a book for students. However, you are going to study it, since as an engineer, as a practicing engineer, you have to know, you have to understand these Eurocodes. And the problem with these Eurocodes is you actually should read and understand them from start to end, and only then you can understand the full concept of these Eurocodes. So you should read them from page 1 until page 100, and then you start to understand why in chapter 5 they refer to chapter 7, and in chapter 7 they refer to chapter 1. And that's why in my book I try to help you with this. I try to guide you, as the title says, guide you through this Eurocode in a more logical way. I think, at least, it's the most logical way.